Alright, so we're playing against a 2367. This man is about to actually regret his life choices coming online. And we're going to be going for the King's Indian defense for this match because I really want to attack today. Now he goes G3. I don't know why everybody is actually playing the faint shattered structure. This is known as one of the most safe lines though. So I'm just going to be castling my king. But yeah, he's basically trying to mirror what black is doing so that it's, again, not so easy for black to break down that structure with pawns. I'm still going to just do my regular stuff though. I could play like bishop to f5 after an n to c6 though. He's going to castle. And then I'm going to go bishop to f5. So all I'm doing is simply completing my development. See, even at the higher levels, this is still a thing, guys. You need to master the principles as quickly in your career as possible so that you can tackle more complex stuffs. Now, rook to e1, he's trying to play e4. Now, center control in almost every single level is super important. So I'm going to be putting my knight to e4. Now, note, this is the middle game, so you guys know what I basically preach. We start putting pieces in that area. So knight to e4 is a no-brainer. We literally got one of our pieces crossing into our opponent's territory. This is what you strive for in middle games. Now, this is just looking at it from like a different opening. So this is the King's Indian. Knight e4 chosen, and my opponent is taking his first thing, and he goes queen to b3. So he's also trying to put pressure on weak areas in my camp. Now there again is a thing called the drawback principle. So you guys need to look at what a piece was defending before to see if you can actually capitalize. So right now the queen was defending this pawn on d4, and he just went queen to b3. So I am looking if I could win that pawn on d4. Unfortunately for us, that's not the case. But you need to check these moves first before continuing with your plan. Also, check again moves in your opponent's side of the board. So I'm looking at moves like knight takes f2 to see if it works. And if it doesn't, then you just continue back with normal stuff. So I'm going to be taking here. Knight takes c3. Goes queen takes. I was expecting pawn takes to actually add some protection to the d pawn, but the fact that he used this queen, it actually gives me some time to again play another move in this area of the board, which is this move bishop to e4. So these are the moves in which I consider first, and trust me guys, you won't attack or actually start playing super aggressive if you don't start using this immediately. The way you attack, get pieces forward, guys. Don't be like this chicken or like cocoon chess where you're just like, and hold all your pieces back. You want to be as aggressive as possible. This is what the stronger players basically master. Alright? So bishop to e4 on the board, and my opponent again is taking a huge thing here. Moreover, he might settle with pawn to e3, I'm assuming, but this also is going to be blocking out the natural squares for his bishop to get into the game. So what I'm basically doing is I'm causing problems for my opponent to solve. The lower levels, again, it's just like that guy's doing his thing, the other guy's doing his thing, and it's just like a who blunders first or who blunders last. What you want is to apply a lot of pressure towards your opponent, and this is going to be again like working on your accuracy. But wait, he goes bishop to e3. Yeah. Ooh, bishop to e3. All right, so I could play pawn to e5. As a matter of fact, not could play, I'm going to play pawn to e5. So now again for the middle game, I don't want to sound too repetitive, but at the same time, you guys know, look for piece optimization, pawn breaks. I literally just did a pawn break, guys, and I'm actually going to open up that diagonal again later on in the future. He just played d5. I could look to remaneuver my knight to f5. No, I always want to keep the pieces active. I don't have any forward moves right now, which won't blunder some things. I'm going to settle with knight to e7. But I could look to put my knight on f5, or look for a pawn break to activate back my knight with pawn to c6 in the future. Now, I have basically my bishop, my two rooks, my queen, and my knight not finding the best squares for this game. He goes queen to c1. I'm assuming he just wants to swap this, so I'm going to play knight to f5. That's a no-brainer. Now, bishops are better than knights in open positions. So this is the reason why I am 100% recommending that you guys keep your bishops. Unless you're again forced to. You know, there are going to always be exceptions. But bishops are better than knights. Point blank. Once the game is open, bishops are better, guys. No. Most persons don't know how to use their bishops. No, I could even give more knowledge and explain it better. But just for now, bishops are worth more, guys. Like, a bishop is actually worth 3.5. For lower rated viewers, they just say 3. Because it's like easier for the mind. Yeah, like imagine that you're telling somebody that a bishop is worth 3.5. You might lose them. So here I'm again looking for my pawn breaks, guys. I just activated my knight. Bishop looks good. I'm like, I have rooks. If you're struggling to activate your rooks in chess, pawn breaks are super important. You want to trade pawns to open files, guys. This is how you activate these pieces. Now, the difference between when an average player has bishops like this, they don't know that it's bad, so they just continue playing on as if it's completely normal. Even though this bishop is on g7, I am looking to get it in the game in the future. If not now, again, in the future. You could be looking for moves like rook f7, getting this along the that diagonal over there. It's just when the time is right. I could be looking for ideas like doubling up on the b file, but you want to look at all your pieces. The faster you master the principles and then apply them as, I want to like put it in a way in which you guys can understand. The further you go up, it's going to be the principles just better, right? It's not going to be too complex. Like a lot of persons, when they crack 2000, they're like, what? It was this easy? Yes, you just learn chess incorrectly. If you're doing a lot of tricks and traps, and then the tricks and traps stop working, and then you're back to, again, the drawing board where you're forced to play chess, and then you can't do it. That's, again, quick ticket to no man's land. I'm even trying to buy this guy some time to play, but again, he's in deep thought. That's what's happening for white right now. He is not finding squares for his pieces. Now, I could even come up with a plan for white in this scenario for you guys. I'm like, all right, if I had the white pieces, I look at everything. I'm like, my rooks, queen, bishop. These pieces aren't, he's not having anything in my side of the board. And nothing is like truly active. So I look for either piece optimization or pawn breaks. So I could look for pawn breaks, which is going to activate my pieces like b4. What the hell is e3? He played e3. That just weakened the diagonal a bit. But he could start looking for pawn breaks down the board to get some more line for that rook. I'm just, no, like, there's no possible way on God's earth. E3 is good. I could improve the portion some more by getting some pieces there, but for now, let's just go rook b8. I even have guys, there's like so many things in this position. I'm like spoiled for choices. I'm gonna just go here. Let's go there. Let's get the rook to the open file, guys. But I'm looking at this as well. The reason why I'm not really putting my rook on f7 as yet, it's just in case he has moves like knight takes e5 or knight g5 hitting my rook on f7. For lower rated viewers, again, that might be a little bit too complex to understand, but I'll even break it down. So this is currently like eyeing down the bishop, yes, but if he moves his knight with tempo, there could be a discovered attack on my bishop, so I have to be super careful. All right, so he goes rook to d1. Again, like this and this, just closing things down would be good. But for now, just keeping it simple. Let's just swing our queen into the game. And definitely looking to get my other piece involved. If he plays b3, he's going to be weakening this diagonal. So I could look to start moving the pawns. These 2 pawns down the board to actually free that line open. This bishop is extremely annoying for him right now, which is super good for the black pieces. Now, I could also play a move like c5, and that idea is to actually put more pressure on this diagonal down the board. But all I'm doing, guys, is ensuring that my pieces are attacking his side of the board. So he does go pawn to b4. That 100% will force me to play, not force, but is telling me to play pawn to c5. Or no, we have our plan with the queen coming in on b7. He goes now knight to e1, and we have just swapped off white's light square bishop. Now, what did I achieve by doing this? Now, remember that bishops help to control weak squares, so he has just surrendered a lot of light square holes around this king. He's playing fast because that's going to be the only thing he has left when this game is done. But I'm going to try to like squeeze my queen into those lines right now. But first, I'm going to be playing this move. Knight here, he has e4. How unfortunate. All right, let's go here first. Let's just take the space, putting yet another piece in my opponent's half. And I want to actually maneuver my knight now to g4, getting yet another piece there. And remember, let's see who is paying attention, guys. If I have rooks, what do I want to do to activate my rooks? I need pawn breaks. I need to actually look for pawn trades that will open lines. Once you get that, oh, that just, okay, that is a cry. So he wants to put some pressure here, I'm assuming. Like this just looks appealing, but here he has like rook takes here. Let's just swing my other rook first. I want to do this and this, and then I'm going to maybe activate my bishop some other way. He wants queen d5. Let's not allow that. King over. If this, I have e4. You have e4. If knight e1, again, he's just moving his pieces backwards, so no problems there whatsoever. All right. So far so good. I don't like the position of my b8 rook. So this is still the plan, guys. Knight there to knight there. And let's see how white is planning to respond. Now he also has 2 minutes on the clock, so he has to be super careful. This I'm wondering if I could even like start getting creative with this h push. Knight f4 looks like way too shaky. Maybe he's trying this. It doesn't feel right, but I could. It's the same thing I'm using, guys. Like the drawback principle, the knight was defending the pawn before, so I'm just looking if it's like crashing through. But yeah, it just doesn't look right. He's at least losing the bishop on c3. But let's see. This is actually also attacking the queen, so it's a fork. Has to be super careful, and if he takes, he's losing the bishop on c3. So what I use to again spot this is always check what the piece was defending before. It's known as the drawback principle, guys. Super important when it comes on to spotting tactics. Alright, so knight takes e3, and let's see how white responds. He just has to take, I'm assuming, right? And try to actually whittle out for like a draw if possible, because my time isn't the greatest either. But I'm going to be taking and actually just trying to convert this to a win. And when I say a win, I mean just like blowing my opponents off the board. So he's unable to spot queens in chess, guys. So I think this is going to be his resignation. And yes, that is so. So this is the reason why I'm telling you, when I'm online, persons must stay offline, alright? But thanks again for watching, guys, and take care.